Welcome back everyone to another video, and in today's video we're going to be doing a POI analysis on Shifty Shafts and Shifty Mountain. They're kind of intertwined as one POI, but it makes for a pretty unique POI, you could say. So first off, let's talk about Shifty Shafts. There are 13 chest spawns here. There are 51 floor spawns. That means Shifty has a fair amount of chances for pads if you look in all these areas throughout here. It has 10 ammo boxes, 2 weapon machines here, so you might be able to get blue pump, blue SMGs, stuff like that. No mended machines, which is interesting. And then web shooters, the nearby ones, there are 3 over here at this bridge, but this will probably be conned by a different split. And then there are 3 down here. So if you're unconned here, then you can definitely send someone down here to pick up these web shooters, or even you guys could all go down together. But that's really it. There's no noms, no coolers, no ice machines. Reboot van's kind of on the far side of Shifty, which is good for anyone that lands in Shifty. Not that good if you're fighting over by the mountain over here. But now let's go into the metal situation. So Shifty Shafts inside here has 1,000 farmable metal. So what that means is actual things you can farm. Some of that might not be quick farming. So quick farming would be like a stone, like a brick stone, and then bad quick farming would be like a stone that you have to hit 4 times to get 3 brick. So that's kind of the difference. It's just farmable, and I didn't really judge on the quick. Usually the quicker stuff to farm is the dump truck stuff over here, the fences, the walls of this green building, and the rooftops here that are red give good metal as well. And now let's go into Shifty Mountains. So Shifty Mountain has 15 chest spawns, so that's just right here. It has 31 floor spawns, which means a less chance of a pad than compared to Shifty, but it actually has more chest compared to Shifty, which is interesting. Only 8 ammo boxes, and the only real web shooters you'll be able to get if you're split here down the middle is up here. And that's, again, really it. Now onto the farmable metal. Shifty Mountain has pretty much no metal. It has 250 metal, and that's not including any metal, again, from chest or anything. So if you're landing just here, you have to rotate somewhere else if you're going to want loot. And I don't know where that would be, because there aren't really anywhere else you can rotate to from here. I mean, you can go down, grab spiders, and maybe hit, like, all this stuff, but that would feel pretty shambles of a rotate. So I'll be right back with some more in-depth Shifty analysis. Alright, so I've decided to do something a little different than all the other POI analysis. I'm finding pros that stream or pros anywhere and trying to find what their strategies are. I can go the replay systems or whatever I do, but I'm just looking for pros that land at that whatever POI I'm doing, so we can learn some strats. So there are 2 teams that land here that stream often that I was able to gather information from. It's Dubs and Megga, and Co1azo and Klass. So those are the 2 teams. So this is what I learned from Dubs and Megga. So the most common thing Dubs and Megga do, they send 1 person to the top of the mountain and 1 right here. And I think the point of that is that if we open floor loot and chest, there's actually a floor spawn, maybe even 2 floor spawns up here and a chest. So that means if Dubs flies in and he lands here, and let's say Megga lands here, and then we have Co1azo and Klass, and they're flying in over here, they're going to be in the air longer than Dubs and Megga because their spots are higher up than Klass and Co1azo. So that means, especially in this meta with the MK, that if either of these guys get an MK or a Ranger or even an SMG, Co1azo or Klass are dead. And if one of them die early, then it's basically a free win because it's a 2v1, and then, yeah. So that's why they send 1 up here and 1 here. Because even if this guy lands here, if he has a god drop, he still might be able to get tags. It would be like this short of a distance he has to work with. But that only works, again, if the mountain is kind of on the way there. But even then, you might be able to beat them if you're coming from like a bus like this. But it would be pretty close. So other than that, when unconned, they do something kind of similar. They actually send Dubs to the top up here, and Megga just lands anywhere in Shifty. And Dubs goes through, loots all this, and then Megga farms all this, and they drop metal for each other. So Megga obviously has more metal than Dubs does. So Dubs probably will leave with 100 to about 150 metal, and then Megga in here will farm up all the quick metal over here, leave that for Dub so he can pick it up, and then he would farm the rest and probably end up leaving with 900 metal total between both of them. Sometimes they hit 1,000, depending on the luck from chest. But that's basically what they do when they're unconned, and Co1azo and Klass kind of do the same thing as well. So I won't really go in depth there. Now this is where it kind of differs. Dubs and Megga are pretty aggressive when they come to Shifty. A lot of their fights they left either the mountain or the shafts as early as possible and keyed the other one. So when contested and beaten to Shifty Mountain, Dubs and Megga loot up to 150 or 200 health and instantly key to mountain. And what that consisted of is we had, Co1azo was here, Klass was like somewhere over here, and then Megga was over here and Dubs was over here. Now this does look bad because this means that if they have mobility, like a low pad, they could all try to key. But in most cases, Co1azo and Megga, it's kind of like you're just taking your ones here. Because if Klass did try to rotate over, then Dubs can call it out and Megga can meet up over there. Now if Klass decided to push in like this, Dubs can crack him and Megga can try to shoot at him, but he'll probably get pinned down. But Dubs can probably look for a beam or a crack on Klass and then Megga can push up or do whatever. So it's really just a one-on-one fight. And how they were winning the fights is that they were slowly creeping their way up like this, up the mountain. And they were just cracking and beaming the shit out of whoever they were going up against. Just, peeking, shoot, get into cover, rinse and repeat over and over again. And then eventually they get to a point where Megga is, let's do a different color. Megga would be like right here and Dubs would be like over here. And then one of them would look at their other guy. So Dubs would try to find an off angle over here and look at Co1azo, crack him or laser him, and then Megga would go hyper aggressive, and then Dubs would either start fighting Klass or run right by Klass to go to Co1azo. And that was kind of how they dealt with fighting when they had to push the mountain. Now let's talk about when they're pushing mountain and mountain's actually set up outside. That's what I just talked about. Let's talk about, when you're pushing mountain early and you have to sneak up actually through the entrances here. So basically they only did this once or twice, and that's when they landed. They opened a few chests. They get an SMG, an MK, a striker, and they already have 4 chugs, something like that. And they're like, okay, let's get key like right now. So that's like even before first zone's even visible. So they're gonna go up together and they're gonna enter through any one of these entrances, whichever one. It varied from all the games I watched, but they would enter through one of these entrances and then they would crouch and chill and like rat around inside here. Then what they're looking for is a 3-2-1. If they find a 3-2-1 and they both have MKs or both have SMGs or one or the other, it's pretty much a GG because you'll die in like I don't know, like 2 seconds, not even. So they're looking for a 3-2-1 or like a 190 damage. And then they're going to hard key that guy or hard key the teammate because it's going to be a 2v1 no matter what. And if this guy fights, it's like a 2v1.1 because he's like no health. So it's pretty much a free kill if they get a crack and they play the fight right. So that's really their 2 strategies when they land here. And when it's flipped and Dubs and Megga own up here, they always look for the beam. So if they have a pistol, an SMG, any assault rifle, or so the Ranger, the MK, they always look for any tags. And then they do the same thing. If they get good loot, they push. So they push down the mountain, whether that's, coming down the mountain over here and looping around, leaving over here and looping around. They're always trying to get into wherever they're going as quickly as possible. Especially in these grand final lobbies, you need to end the fights quick, just because if you don't, then it's going to drag out and someone's going to start third partying you. What I learned from Co1azo and Klass. Honestly, it's pretty much the same as Dubs and Megga. It's just who has a drop sooner, who gets better loot out of their chest, and who decides to key first. It seems to be like who wins. But the big difference is that I could see is that Co1azo and Klass have 2 different loot routes. So they have one that they call quick and one that they call normal. So there's quick. Let's go over here and write normal. And what it seemed like that normal is, you loot and you farm and you just kind of chill and vibe out. But quick is where, that's an awful color. Let's just redo all this in yellow. So normal, quick, then we have a loot, farm, and vibe. And then quick over here, which does not look like the proper spelling, but you guys get the point. Quick is they only loot chest, and floor spawns. So they're just going chest to chest, chest to chest. And they only hit fast mats. So really what that means is that there's a few rocks throughout here that give you like 150 to 200 brick, and they only hit those. So they're leaving like 1, 5, and like 0 to 1. That's it. And then they're keying. So because what they're trying to do is set up on this hill before Dubs and Megga have a chance to actually sneak their way up. So that's really what they're trying to do. They're like, okay, let's do loot. Let's loot quick. Let's loot normal, whatever they're doing. Klass would make the call out, and then they would do it. And something else that they do is that they don't just walk out of all these entrances. You can sneak your way. Well, they do walk out of this one, but you can sneak your way up, and they always try to stay, kind of on the height here, without actually pushing down too far into Shifty. Because if they just start, running their way up through here, then Dubs and Megga could be hiding, and they just go for a hard beam on them, and then they're dead. So what's the biggest takeaway? Well, the biggest takeaway is that both Dubs and Megga and Klaus and Klass prioritize landing on the top of Shifty Mountain. So if whoever gets Shifty Mountain, this is what they do. They send one here and the other one here. And they're both aiming for this. Both teams. It's just who has the better drop and who has to flake off into Shifty Shafts. So it seems like that whoever owns the mountain is kind of in control of this POI. So because of that, I did something completely I've never done before. I have 2 drop maps now. I have a drop map up here and a drop map down here. And yeah, they'll be up on the screen now. And I'll put the links in the description if you want them. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. If this video does well compared to my daily bugle one, then I will keep doing drop maps. If not, then I might just not go through the trouble. But yeah, cheers.